Huh. Are podcasts live or recorded? Well, it's going to make a lot more sense after this video. It really is a simple question, but you'd be surprised. There's sometimes when it sounds one way and you think it's the other, or vice versa, and you never know. So let's take a look behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and we'll talk a little bit about both, and then I'll show you what's probably going on. Shall we? Let's go. So by the end of this video, you're definitely going to know, are podcasts live or recorded? And second of all, not only can you do both or one of each, but when's an appropriate time for you to do it? How can you make the most mileage out of either recorded or live and end up with, some really great followers in the meantime? So let's get started. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, if you're live when you're recording it, which one is it? Live or recorded? That's the question. That's the deep philosophical question. Right. No, this is not the kind of thing that keeps me up at night, and I hope it doesn't keep you up. Basically, what you're looking at is 99.9% of the podcasts are recorded. There, I said it. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean you have to do that all the time. And what you can do is think of this as a streaming TV show. Okay? You're going to record your podcast, you're going to edit it, you're going to get rid of the flubs, you're going to add all your enhancements to it, whether you use sound effects or music or whatever the case may be. You're going to get that up and running to meet your brand specifications and sound like you and your business. All right? So now that you've got that done, you upload it to a server. This is where a lot of podcasts are hosted. Think of it kind of like websites, okay? You don't have the website on your computer. When you go to a website, you call up the programming that is saved on another computer, and then it draws the website on your screen. Same thing with podcasting. You don't have, well, you could download the audio if you wanted to, but if you're just going to stream it live right there off of your machine, that audio is actually, the data is saved someplace else. You're just playing it back on your machine. Okay, you see the difference? So here you've recorded it, but with a TV show, you have to be at home in your seat at that time on that day in order to see the show. Remember, Friends was at 7, period, end of story. If you weren't in your chair at 7 o'clock, you were going to miss Friends. Now, with podcasting, it's kind of like that, but you get to download it and watch it whenever you want, much more like streaming. So the shows are pre-produced like a TV show, but you can stream it, watch it, download it, and consume it anytime you want instead of being stuck and locked into the TV schedule on the air. So is this making sense? Are you starting to see the difference between a live podcast and a recorded podcast? Well, we're going to go into a live podcast in just a second, but subscribe to the channel, be sure to like this episode, and if you know somebody else who's thinking about using a podcast and leveraging it for their business, be sure to tell them about the channel too. That's what we do here to get your business up and running, especially if you want to use, say, YouTube or podcasting or even blogging or radio commercials. That's what we do. Now, as far as live is concerned, and it is literally live, you will probably be on a location, or maybe you're just doing a regular episode, but instead of recording it, you're going to hit broadcast and you're going to be right there, say, streaming on the spot on Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok or wherever it is that you're going to be streaming to. You're going to be doing that on the spot. So that would be a live podcast. No editing involved. If you press the wrong button or the music's too loud, well, that's what. You're going to get it for that particular episode. Of course, you probably end up turning it down or something like that. But what you get is what you get. There's no editing it and there's no correcting it. Now, think about this for a moment. If you, say, are into graphic novels, okay? Back in my day, we called them comic books. If you're into graphic novels and you really like that kind of stuff, it would be really cool for you to go down to the local Comic-Con when it comes to town and set up a table, or maybe just have your equipment under your arm and walk around with a microphone. You dial it in and you start broadcasting to your viewers, to your listeners, your podcast listeners, live and on the spot from the Comic-Con. If you happen to do sports talk and you really like, let's say, all sports, you just kind of do a daily broadcast or whatever. Wouldn't that be a great time to, oh gosh, I don't know, broadcast live on opening day? Now, when we say opening day, the first thing I think of is baseball. Football is really starting to hype up the draft. Wouldn't it be great to broadcast live for the draft? The NBA, NHL, if you're into all of those sports, or if there happens to be a really nice golf tournament nearby, go ahead and get your ticket, show up over there and start broadcasting live. Do a quick 30-minute, maybe an hour podcast from the location, talking to any spectators that are there, and maybe even talking to a few participants, a few athletes that just happen to walk by. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? Or the other thing you could do is actually get in the door on purpose to broadcast live. Talk to the event planners, they'll get you a table set up and maybe even make it an event for your listeners. Would that be the coolest thing in the world, to broadcast live at a huge event for a private event for your listeners? Maybe even charge for it a little bit. I don't know, possibly, you never know. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I used to be in radio, and whenever we do live broadcasts at stores and live remotes, that was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing those. And this would be a really cool way to get out and meet your listeners and turn it into, well, turn an event into an even bigger event. It's a lot of fun if you can pull it off. When you're out there with some folks, and especially the folks who know you and they're fans and they listen to your podcast, this is a great time to talk to them, connect with them even more so than you do in the podcast. It seems a little bit of a one-way street. You know, it's kind of weird because they listen all the time and they know a lot about you, but you don't know as much about them because you don't get to talk with them. You get to talk to them, but you don't get to talk with them. Now is a great opportunity to pick their brains. What kind of episodes do they like? What do they want to hear more of? What do they want to hear less of? Get them involved and invested in the show, and they become super phenomenal fans, especially when they feel they've been listened to and you talk to them and you found their opinion valuable. They become uber fans, man. I mean, it's phenomenal what they'll do for you. It really is cool, and it's a great opportunity to get out and talk to the people who are listening to you all the time. It's a lot of fun. And to that end, getting yourself started, there's a little bit more to a podcast than meets the eye, and I've got something for you. In the description down below, you're going to see a link that's called Engaging Your Audience. It's 3 ways to skyrocket your podcast success that most people don't even think about. So be sure to get your copy of Engaging Your Audience by clicking the link below. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.